wow, I'm actually getting this done quickly. Or at least, I was getting this done quickly until some stupid video editing program decided that it was going to wreck my entire project by ruining the timing on half of it, so I'd have to take it, re-edit it, and recompile it. Thanks a lot, iMovie! We now return you to your regularly scheduled Closer Look. Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go, Closer Look Episode 3, Planetoid Q. Let's jump right into it. So the episode starts with Antari really starting to take on his mentorship role that he'll have throughout the series, with him teaching Chiro how to go through a puzzle.
Time, because you're gonna be amazed how fast I get to the end.
Chiro is soon getting his butt handed to him by the maze, and am I the only one who thought Antari looked a little too amused by it?
You've been trolled, yes, you've probably been told. Don't reply to this guy, he's just trying to get a rise out of you. Yes, it's true, you respond and that's his cue to start trouble on the double while he strokes his manly stubble.
At which point Antari does offer some important advice. Of course, you already know this is important because you've watched the entire series, and you're not watching these before you've watched the entire series because there might be spoilers, right?
Embrace the power primate, and you'll discover the right path is often the one you're already on. Trust yourself.
So Chiro decides to do things Antari's way and winds up in a creepy chamber with Skeleton King. Again, where does he keep coming from? Apparently it's a sign that the power primate's in trouble, but before the two can worry about that too much, they find out that there's a much more immediate threat.
Long-range scanners have picked up a massive object on collision course with Sugar Zoom City.
Gibson explains that to stop the asteroid, they'd need something called a graviton disruptor, which is unfortunately extremely time-consuming to make. Cue Otto for the first time making one of his inventions.
Unfortunately, there's no time to build such a fantastically complicated device. Otto, what are you doing?
I'm so glad we finally have Otto the Mechanic instead of Otto the Monkey who only exists to make pee jokes. And curse you, JetX logo! That would have made a great animated GIF! According to his conversation with Sparks, Chiro still hasn't really learned the importance of the power primate and thinks that the power of the robot's more important. The team soon gets into trouble in an asteroid field, and Sparks gets to show up his mad pilot skills.
I'm way ahead of you.
Flying against these things isn't doing us any good. Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow.
Nice call, Sparks.
Nice? I deserve a medal. Maybe something gold. You know, with those little wings.
He really did earn one. I mean, that was some pretty great leadership for Sparks. The team finally makes their way to the meteor, or that's what they thought it was anyway, but a quick shot with the graviton disruptor reveals... Okay. Q actually looks like this, and the team decides once they realize he's sentient to try and reason with him.
Planetoid Q, you are on a collision course with an inhabited world.
I must do what I must do.
Change direction! I repeat, change!
Talking to Q is like talking to a brick wall, so Nova gets the idea of going inside the thing.
Nova, shouldn't we be flying away from this thing's mouth?
Listen to your feelings.
This place is disgusting.
Then you should feel right at home, Sparks.
Sparks didn't even do anything to provoke that one. Anyways, the inside of Planetoid Q is actually pretty cool. He's got all these different rooms, the blood vessels, and the stomach, I think that is, and he's got his own little creatures living inside, and then there's the room with all the eyes.
Yeehaw! That was fun!
Speak for yourself.
Not a solution I would have offered, Otto, but inspired all the same.
Gotta follow your hunches. Sometimes.
Hey guys, I think the theme of this episode is going with the flow and listening to your instincts!
Hey, that's a good look for you, kid.
Oh, I don't really have anything to say for this part, I just think it's really funny.
They're biting me, and it hurts! A lot!
After some quick house cleaning, the team continues towards the center of the planetoid, only to realize that they're walking on top of a giant eyeball and fall into its cornea. With most of the robots stuck to the eyeball, Chiro's the only one able to escape and decides to go it alone, despite the team's worry. And Antari utters yet another important line.
Are you sure? He's alone.
No monkey team member is ever alone.
After a little more travel, Chiro reaches the propeller and goes to turn it off, only to get captured by some sort of psychic things that put him into some sort of trance, and he ends up meeting the personification of Q.
At the end of your journey, one called Chiro, your doom is inevitable.
While it starts out looking like just another fight, this is actually one of the first times where Monkey Team gets really interesting in the sense that it starts to wax philosophical. Turns out Skeleton King is behind the entire mess, and has basically tricked Planetoid Q into thinking that because he gave him a propulsion system, he has absolutely no choice and it's his destiny to destroy things. At this point, Monkey Team asks its first philosophical question. What is the line between destiny and the free will that people have? Now, I can get into my own opinions about this, but the show seems to answer with this kind of vague reply that there are times where you go with the flow of things, and then there are times where you have to make a choice going with your gut that something doesn't seem right. Anyways, Q figures out that Skeleton King's a butt, tells him to get lost, and everything returns to normal pretty quickly. Only one problem. The planetoid is already way too close to Sugazoom to avoid it, so Chiro thinks up an alternate plan.
If we significantly increase Q's velocity, we'll reach where we're supposed to be sooner than where we were supposed to be later.
We speed up enough, we won't hit Sugazoom.
That's exactly what I said.
Of course, the plan works, and Q is eternally grateful, so he decides to morph himself into a giant monkey head and fly away. I just imagine Q flying by some poor planet, looks up into the sky and sees this thing, and it just creeps me out. Anyways, at first Planetoid Q really seems like a standalone filler, but going back through, I've really started to notice that there's a lot of things that will be used through the series. First off, you get several of the relationships between the team cemented, and Tari really starts to take on his mentorship role towards Chiro. Likewise, Otto and Gibson's regular roles start to come in. Gibson is kind of the know-it-all smarty pants to Otto's very simple but able to do amazing things, and the two have kind of this scientific rivalry going on. This episode also makes several hints towards things that'll be happening in late Season 2, early Season 3. I mentioned some of them before, but there's some that I'll bring up as we get to those episodes. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. That's a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. God bless, have a great day, and keep enjoying Monkey Team.
Guys, you get the feeling we're being watched?